I'm host Can of Talking with Famous Pipple, and here with the ever suave host Tim. And we're talking about stuff and things. Some stuff, but particularly the things. So,
Today, we'd like to focus on the things.
the things, yeah. Um, so, Tim, you're a person.
Yeah, so I have emotions, I think, therefore I am. Go on.
Okay. Um, how's that going for you? Existing.
Excellent.
Excellent.
It always is. That's my answer. Now, is that a lie? Most of the time. But I find that when somebody asks me how I'm doing, and I say excellent, it makes them smile. Like if I'm at work, like, hey, good morning, Tim. I'm like, how you doing, Tim? Good morning. I'm like, excellent. How you doing? And they're like, good. They feel good about it. So I always say I'm excellent.
That's probably something I could do more. Um,
Yeah, just say excellent with a lot of enthusiasm. It works for me. Because then I feel good. Even if I didn't feel good, I just feel a little bit better for a minute.
it's interesting to think about it in terms of doing it for them. I think I've struggled with that in the past because if I say excellent and I'm not feeling excellent, then it's kind of like I'm lying. And since I know that I'm lying, it feels more like I'm trapped in a lie, where it's like maybe it wouldn't be so much of a big deal. This is
Well,
very quickly branching off into something else.
go ahead.
It's like it to me. It wouldn't be such of as much of a big deal if I'd probably expressed myself more in the past. I think it's a struggle for me because it's combined with a habit of holding my tongue, so to speak. Um,
Well, I had a problem. I didn't really do it all the time, but every once in a while, somebody's like, how you doing? And I had something going on, right?
yeah.
And then maybe they were always close enough so I could tell them, but I don't like telling people my problems. So I will just say I'm doing good, and then most of the time it ends up talking about their problems, which I kind of think that maybe that's what they wanted to talk about. So if it's not at work, somebody's like, "How you doing?" I'll just say I'm great, and so because I don't want to talk about anything that's actually going on in my life, any of the bad things, I never do,
Hmm.
and I don't feel bad for not. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but
Um, okay. I don't know if you can hear that. Got dogs barking
so like,
outside.
do you like? Is it? How does it feel? People tell you their problems.
It hinges upon whether or not I feel that I've been able to unravel and express my problems to the extent that I would like. I like the feeling of give and take. Um, like it's a two-way street. I don't necessarily need that with everyone. I think it's more of like I need to get that as much as I need it, but I don't really have an issue with listening to people talk about their problems. I don't get people talking about their problems, so to speak. Like they don't. I don't get people actively speaking about the root causes of things. I'll get them mainly complaining about symptomatic things. Like, oh, this thing went on, and it's like, things like that. And you typically have to ask the question, okay, well, why is that bothering you? They're not going to come out and say why it's bothering them. They may not be aware of why it's bothering them. But that's probably the kind of question I want to ask. But
So working out problems with people, is it something you like to do, or is it something that is a burden on you? Is it something that feels good to do? Is to hash out other people's problems and make them feel like they know what's actually bogging them down?
yeah, if I could find a way to be helpful uh, in terms of helping someone find out what's bogging them down. That would be cool. Uh, Sometimes I would like to do that, but there's also this practicality issue I always have in mind where I don't just want to say platitudes. Um, and the thing is, sometimes I don't feel like it's enough just to give them a pat on the back and, say
So
something like,
define the platitudes that you don't like giving.
well, if someone has a legitimate problem, like they're like, okay, I'm not, let's say they don't feel like they're making enough money, or they've been working long hours or something like that, and they're just uh, like they're tired or whatever. It's something, or they're having relationship issues or things like that. It's like with, to use like the work situation as an example, it's like the the main thing I'm thinking about that doesn't necessarily get brought up in conversation is, okay, what's a way to, if they're having a work issue, is it like relational, or is it with the job? Like, is it like, oh, there's someone at the job who's bothering me, at which,
Okay, so Ken, the
yeah,
other day at work, I was working and my boss, Jeff, he got mad at me because he told me to do something. And I did it, and I thought I did what was right. I didn't even feel like I had to ask a question. And I didn't get mad, but he ended up yelling at me because what I did didn't, I did part of it, but then part of it I was like, oh, this goes over here. I just left it over there, and he
mm.
got really mad at me. I feel really bad about that.
Did you actually do it wrong? Were you able to find that out?
Yeah, I did do it wrong. I definitely found it out because he told me.
How many times before have you done this task?
Never. It was one of those things where I was slacking off, and he told me to do the task, and I did it like completely wrong.
Why were you slacking off?
I will preface what I say with the fact that I started out with like a random example just to hear how you talk about it, but this is actually something that happened,
Uh-huh.
like kind of. So I was just slacking off because I was talking to somebody that I wasn't really supposed to be talking to. She was in the same department as me, but I was heading to the bathroom and I was talking to her.
Okay. Um, so what was it? Was there anything particular about this person that caused you to shirk your current responsibilities in favor of talking to this person?
Yes, she had personal issues going on that she was telling me the week before, and we were talking about them.
Okay.
It's something that I know that she likes to. It's funny, it kind of all relates. She likes to talk about her issues, and I won't tell you specifics, but it was with her mother and something with her daughter too. So I just wanted to check up on her and see how she was doing.
Okay.
But I felt really bad that I got yelled at for doing something that I thought I did right. I made it very clear that I didn't know what to do, which so I didn't know what to do, so I told him that. And then it got him more mad. But I really have to be calm in that situation. But I don't know why. Hmm. So what do you think? What do you think about that? What should I have done?
On this episode of Dr. Phil,
Well,
no, I'm just thinking, in that situation, you mentioned that you were sort of slacking or something like that. You'd sort of mention it that way. It's like, first I'd ask, in the past, have you had other situations where maybe it wasn't potentially justified when you were slacking?
yes.
Yes. Okay. So in this situation, you weren't really sure how to do something. Maybe you didn't put in what might be considered enough effort and attention to the task. Maybe you didn't ask the right questions beforehand. Boss got
That's
mad,
right.
but then you were also talking with someone, so it's like, if I'm in the position of giving advice, or just trying to talk about something. It's like, to me, there's multiple things going on there, and there might be individual ways to tackle those problems. The thing is,
Well,
for
okay,
one,
so
it's for
you're
one.
right. You're
Was
right.
that
I could have asked questions that would have prevented me from being yelled at, but
mm,
I didn't. I could have, and I knew that I could, but in my mind, I'm like, you know what? No, like I'm not gonna ask these questions because I think I know what I'm supposed to do.
it's may not even be
Oh, the
necessary.
pizza guy's here, by the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna let's wrap this up real quick.
Oh, we can't wrap this up. We're gonna have to come back to this.
Well, how about for this episode of titled ENTP INFJ Feelings, we wrap this up.
Part one. That's
Part
all.
one.